Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the ESR second group. If you're not number 2, you can't be here. We are here at the Walking Stick Arena, I think Mike said. Is that right?
Watkins Glen.
Yeah, the Walking Stick Glen. That's where we are. This is the John Barker Memorial Race. R.I.P. John Barker. He was kind of a dick, but he was our kind of a dick.
That's a lie.
He's actually, not dead. That was kind of a joke.
Also very, very, very cool dude.
Yeah. In between being a dick. I am very attractive, and with me, as always, is the man who invented crazy glue by melting horses randomly one day, Michael Megas.
Yes, you can all thank me for crazy glue and my psychotic tendencies towards violence.
You just wanted to know, like, that one looks a little bit nuts. Perhaps if we melt it, it could be cool and stick things together.
Oh, so we're assuming that in order to make crazy glue, you need an insane horse. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I stole that joke from Seinfeld.
Oh, I see. I don't watch Seinfeld, so.
No, it was never on I don't know if it was on one of the shows. I didn't watch it, but his album that he put out after.
Looks like there's some pretty cool technical difficulties on there.
Yeah, that's all right. That's what I'm here for, field time. Anyway, the album he put out, the comedy album he put out after the Seinfeld show was done, is great. You should definitely listen to it. It was actually funny, unlike whoever it is that's failing to put in this password. Not funny at all.
I'm assuming Martin.
Martin,
visit Florida.com, baby.
Condom Depot?
I don't think I've ever seen a race car sponsored by Condom Depot, but there probably has been one.
I would assume.
All right, so
Michael, what is your beverage of choice this evening?
Looks like qualifying is wrapped up. It's just water this evening.
Me too. Sure,
totally. Dennis Johnson starting on pole position by just 0.2 of a second over Andrew D. Kerry Arnault in the mix as well in third place with Magic Kazchuk on the second row. And we've got a 3-minute warm-up here to kill some time.
3 minutes, get your shit together.
3 minutes, get your shit together.
Oh, I mean, at some point,
Charger
shenanigans
Charger
just
wants
kind of
to
fade away into the background.
Charger wants to do commentary right now. That's a little awkward.
Well, he can come on in. That'd be entertaining.
Live from Charger's panel van.
Good old Charger. The rumors are greatly exaggerated, except for the genitalia one.
I always enjoyed there's a podcast I listen to. Rob has a podcast by a former Survivor player, and his intro used to be live from my apartment, and then he sold the apartment and actually got a house, and it like for the next several months it was very awkward. He's like, I really don't have an intro anymore.
Live from my domicile.
Live from my apartment worked so very well, and it's just live from my house just doesn't have the same ring.
R.I.P. James Butler. He will be missed.
It looks like he stopped at the pit lane exit, which is a little weird, but
it's because he's dead.
Back up there. I mean, you might be right. He's stopping again.
See, totally dead.
You know what it could be is that we've seen some awkward starts in this series. I think they have like a launch control deal here, so they might just be practicing starting, making sure to eliminate any clutch creep. We've seen Richard Roche get caught up in a drive-through, Martin Edmonds, a couple others that come to mind. So, could just be that. Oh, and after this, I gotta watch the Monaco Grand Prix before it is spoiled for me, so don't do it! Nope.
Spoiler alert.
No.
The Prince of Monaco wins.
I mean, he wins every year. He gets to be around lovely, lovely ladies and then present the winner the trophy and get more publicity than he gets the rest of the year. So, I mean, he wins every year. Let's be honest, he's the Prince of Monaco. He just wins. Like that's how that works.
Pretty good. Pretty good setup.
Yeah, it looks like Butler and Kazchuk are just practicing starts, which is interesting. think a couple other people were trying this, or maybe they are back in the pit lane, and these two are the only ones that are just like driving around the track doing like start stops. Well, on the start, we'll have to have our eyeballs on P4 and P9 because they're out here practicing for the start, and we'll see if they can just absolutely launch themselves up the field.
Lunch?
Launch, not lunch, but lunch does sound good. What are you thinking of having for lunch tomorrow?
I have no plans at all, so could be leftover pizza. Could just be literally cheese sticks.
Mine will probably be something from the whatever the grocery store has on like the hot food section. We'll probably pick up
hot food. You're gonna have fried chicken and Mojos.
Could be. Doing some shopping tomorrow. I have like no food in the house right now. Well, I have like specific food. Like I have a thing of frozen chicken and a thing of frozen Brussels sprouts.
Ooh.
So
see, I've tried the frozen Brussels sprouts. They did not turn out well.
I have not. So because this is the first time I bought them, and they're still sealed, still ready to go. Mm-hmm. So I'll let you know if I figure out a way to make it work.
My particular findings, they came out pretty mealy and not good.
Well, we'll see. We are ready to kick off here, race number 1, and we are off.
To the hip,
and rolling.
Hop, hip it to the hip, hip hop, and you don't stop. A rock to the bang, boogie, say up, jump, the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat.
See, the problem for me with doing like semi, even remotely elaborate cooking is I've got 2 housemates, and they inevitably also want the stove. So
well, they can have it when I'm goddamn good and ready.
So I have to find things that are quick and good. That's the idea. So the frozen broccoli works fine. I'm hoping the frozen Brussels sprouts do too.
Or you can do long and low and slow, and then therefore you only take up like 1 burn.
That's true.
Like chili.
Mauricio Delgado up in 5th place. Looking pretty good. Battling there with Magic Kazchuk. So it's Johnson, D, Arnaud, Kazchuk, Delgado, Steve Davidson, Martin Edmonds, James Butler, Gerard Laval, John Barker. Richard DeRoche way down in the pecking order in 11th place. He's a championship contender. So it's a bit weird to see him down that far. As well as Ariel Zatoni, the flying Argentinian, who just doesn't seem to really get along with these cars. Mauricio trying to go around the outside of Magic Kazchuk, and they get shovey.
I like it.
And looks like Kazchuk came out on the raw end of that as he gets overtaken by both Delgado and temporarily Steve Davidson. Looks like he's going to get Davidson back, though.
My whole body is so goddamn sore right now.
Oh. Yes. Would you like to tell the people why you're
So,
Martin Edmonds dives down the inside of Steve Davidson for 7th place, or 6th place, apparently.
Yesterday I got my first immunization. So, the shoulder was fine until, like, the middle of last night when I woke up and it was just like, hey, guess what? You're in pain now. And then I spent the rest of the afternoon and evening helping my mom plant flowers and vegetables and stuff, and a couple things for myself, which I enjoy doing, but my physical being does not have the... Oh my goodness!
I think this Magic Kazchuk way off.
That pretty much sums up how my body reacted, actually, to the whole physical exertion and bending over and lifting things, and then...
thank you for that visual representation, Magic Kazchuk.
Yeah, pretty much. And then that guy in the... Whoa! That's in keeping with the spirit of
that is,
how I feel.
I'm not sure who that was. Black livery car. Looks like it was Ariel Zatoni.
So, between all that shenanigans, and then this morning I went out, we did some target shooting with some friends and I, so both shoulders are kind of sore, and my whole body is like, are you dumb, or like, what's up?
Retarded.
Kinda. My body's asking these questions, like, are we gonna have to have a meeting?
So after our random carnage, we still got the top 3 are the same. Johnson, D, Arnaud, but Delgado's up to 4th, Edmonds to 5th, Davidson to 6th, Delval, then it's Kazchuk, Barker, Butler, all the Brits running together. DeRoche, Nick, Wolf, Yarrington and Zatoni. Wonder if Zatoni's out because he's already lapped down. That could just mean that he's getting fixed up in the pit lane.
Did you know that my milkshake brings all the boys to the Yarrington?
Damn right, it's better than yours. Somebody taking a creative line there. I think it was James Butler.
I applaud their artistic talent.
Looks like we're getting a little bit of lag issues from Arnaud, actually, which is a bit weird because he's American. You'd think his connection would be solid, but a little bit of a blimp there. Edmonds in front of Davidson and Delval. Battle for 5th place. Here at Watkins Glen, one of the newer additions. I want to say actually the newest addition to the ESR, to the race room track selection, which is, to be honest, pretty much second to none as Delgado goes down the inside of Kerry Arnaud, but Arnaud defends for 3rd place. Johnson and D starting to sprint away just a little bit. Steve Davidson getting mugged by Delval and Kazchuk in the background.
Get him, Steve Dave.
Mauricio Delgado looking for a path to the podium. Be a big moment if Delgado could pick up a podium here. Don't want to celebrate too early. We got 20 minutes to go here, so there's plenty of time, but looking good early on.
Still got my ideas folder or file open, looking at all my previous things that I bothered to write down. Old sponsors and stuff.
Old sponsors. Old Spice, the old sponsor.
This here race brought to you by Uncle Elmer's carbonated wood alcohol. Free swirl marinade recipe in every case. Do not apply to painted surfaces. Family-owned company since last week.
Family-owned company since I married the daughter of the owner.
Y'all come on by.
Three wide in the background there with Richard DeRoche, James Butler, and John Barker. It looks like Barker's going to lose out on that and drop out of the top 10. DeRoche moving into 10th place. Or no, or maybe not. Barker looks like he's gotten back past him. DeRoche dropping quite a bit back. Interesting. Big difference in line there. Steve Davidson getting nudged in the back by Delval. Doesn't work for Delval. In fact, it's Magic Kazchuk who takes advantage and moves up into 7th place.
Things seem to have devolved.
This has been the D Championship. The top 3 in the championship: Dennis Johnson, Andrew D, Richard DeRoche.
The D stands for Smith.
This is the group. 2. Also, my MMA simulator has spitted out its greatest random name of all time, Byron. Are you ready for this?
Is it Bartholomew Shortshakes?
No, it is Jay Quillen. First name Jay, last name Quillen.
That is fantastic. Next it's gonna come with D-Nice. Or Timothy.
So I'm gonna have to sign Jay Quillen if he turns out to be anything other than a complete can for obvious reasons.
You're a bum.
In fact, honestly, if he becomes a can, I'll probably I'll still sign him for comedic value.
What weight class is Jay Quillen in?
Jay Quillen is a 205er.
Give that guy some cheeseburgers, I'll fight him.
I mean, I feel like that's just padding your already padded resume.
Wow, padded. Thanks for that.
Everybody's
now, everybody heavyweights. Now you don't
everybody's got padding on their resume.
Not me. I've been fighting tigers and
George. That's what makes George St. Pierre so amazing. Everyone he fights is actually like, a name.
Yeah, the only guy on his record that doesn't have a Wikipedia page is Travis the Gladiator Galbraith.
Yeah, Travis Galbraith.
Which doesn't make any sense.
I think you pretty much have to fight in the OC to get a Wikipedia page or Bellator, and Galbraith did neither. He did like all the. Yeah, he did. Well, yeah, but King of the Cage doesn't appear to be on its own enough to get a Wikipedia page.
You tell that to Travis Fulton.
Travis Fulton fought in the UFC.
Oh.
Not successfully, but he did.
You tell that to the Hobag.
The Hobag doesn't have a Wikipedia page. He really should.
Never mind.
Really should, but...
Anybody curious out there, there is a guy who fought in an MMA type scenario, and his nickname was the Hobag.
Joseph the Hobag Bochanek. The only other person I can think of is he's always my favorite, like, winless fighter to say, like, what could he have been? Wojciech Kozłowski. He's a Carlos Newton student who fought in the IFL. Went 0-7 in his MMA career, but, like, if you look at the 7 losses, it's all people you know. And it's like, this career was horribly mismanaged. Was a pretty impressive looking dude as well. I mean, I don't know if he really had any go in him, because, like, you know, he would just get out techniqued by everybody. But, like, I don't know. He physically looked like he had something, and had he been managed and given, like, you know, a couple of cans to get his confidence up and get him some ring time, he might have been a UFC caliber fighter. You never know. Instead 0-7. Instead, just like possibly the most impressive 0-7 fighter in existence.
Correct. Who was that said in chat, like, I train UFC? Or was it somebody who made a comment on one of Rob's videos? I don't know. It came from Rob somewhere, somehow.
Okay. Probably one of Rob's videos.
That was the line for a long time. It was like, oh, yeah. I train UFC.
Mm. Gerardo Delval shuffling back in the order a little bit, losing a spot there to John Barker. And not Magic Cash, Kerry Arnaud and Delgado banging doors again. Some physicality in that battle for third place.
Kerry yes.
I always love people like, I train UFC. I'm like, that's not possible. It's not the sport. You don't say that you train NFL.
But I do train NFL. The videotape I bought tells me that's true.
Side by side again here. It is Arnaud versus Delgado. And this time, Delgado is going to get through, at least for now. So things have gotten really interesting with the Chilean moving on to the podium. Arnaud, Edmonds, Davidson in that group as well. Then it's a little bit further back to the battle between Barker and Kaschuk. Barker is picking them off one at a time. Was down in 11th place, now up to 7th. He's gotten past Jaroche, Butler, and Kaschuk, as well as Delval, who's fallen all the way to 11th place. Martin Edmonds getting a little out of shape there. Exposes him to a possible run from Steve Davidson, but nothing really comes of it. 14 of the original 15 cars still running. I'd like if we could get some camera time with Scott Nick and Zach Wolf, just because we so seldom see Zach Wolf in a particularly meaningful fight, and he's having a good fight for 13th place with Scott Nick. So I'd like the camera to show him a little bit of love. But plenty is happening up here. Kerry Arnaud is flashing again. Getting a little bit weird to see an American having problems with his connection. But such is what it is. Steve Davidson still in the mix there. Delgado getting a little bit of a cushion. Meantime, at the front, Dennis Johnson now leading Andrew D by 3.7 seconds. So if D wants to break Johnson's winning streak here in the first race, he's gonna... Oh boy! Richard DeRoche with the power slide, but loses out to Delval, who also overtook James Butler. So that group of three is having a good tango, and then there's Delgado back to Kaschuk here that are still having a reasonably decent little tango as well. You got Nick and Wolf fighting over 12th place as well. And the lonely man on the circuit is Will Yarrington in 14th place.
Yar.
In the background there, Kaschuk going side by side with Barker. Davidson taking a look at Martin Edmonds. Kaschuk with the late commit. Oh boy! Magic Kaschuk tried to tried to maybe go for a gap that wasn't really there. Came in with the late. He was looking like he gave up on the overtake, tucked back in behind Barker, and then he went for it late. And
I encourage such adventurous thinking.
It was definitely adventurous. Maybe a little over aggressive, but sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit. And in this case, the biscuit was flipping onto your roof. Looks like the crafty miner crew is playing the Deep Rock Galactic game.
I hear that people like that game.
I've heard that as well. Johnson, D. Delgado, Arnaud, Edmonds, Davidson, Barker, Delval, DeRoche, Butler, your top 10. All very close together. Kazchuk is still running, actually, and is rejoined in between Scott Nick and Zach Wolf, surprisingly enough. Or how that car is feeling after having been flipped on its roof. We'll find out at some point, I assume. There was a guy on last night's UFC card called named Victor Rodriguez, and there's a guy on Bloody Elbow named Victor Rodriguez. So when he did his show today, his co-host was like, "Vic, I have to say, I didn't think you could do it." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You got down to 125 for the UFC fight, and then got completely owned in less than a minute. How do you feel about it?" Oops, my phone is ringing.
Hell yeah, shipping down to Boston. Whoa. Well, excuse Mike, because he likes to have his ringtone as loud as possible just to maintain a general cloud of noise marine type behavior, as well as the space cocaine.
This is my dad phoning. I'll give him a phone. I'll call back later. Because, you know, my dad calls. He needs money. That's how that works. I have a sad family relationship.
I would recommend selling him a bridge because they are valuable.
Looks like we've lost somebody through the field. No, we haven't. Oh my lord, 3 wide. John Barker, Gerardo Delval, and Richard DeRoche are scrapping, and James Butler is licking his chops in behind them. Because that could go bad really quickly.
I would recommend slicing the chops and then eating them.
Ooh,
power! Not going to digest.
Power slide from Martin Edmonds. Martin, that's not good for your tires. And I mean, we already know that, like, just being Martin Edmonds' tires is bad for your tires. So, you know, he's just making it worse. Richard DeRoche putting the pressure on John Barcadero for 7th place. Barker has had a calm, solid race. I mean, obviously he's part of that flip over for Magic Kazchuk, so, you know, it hasn't been that calm. But has picked his way through the field a couple of times to get up into this upper level of the lower half of the top 10. We'll see if he can hang on. Davidson still more or less glued to Martin Edmonds' bumper, as he has been pretty much the whole race. Can he do anything about it?
Nope.
Well, we'll see. 7 minutes to go, plenty of time. Gary Arnaud, the displaced from the podium driver, trying to get back up there against Mauricio Delgado. Good run from Mauricio. Mauricio has been very impressive in this series. A guy who is known to have a little bit of speed and everything, but this is the first series in ESR where he's really putting together some solid, complete races and picking up the results that come with that. So a big thumbs up and a round of applause for Mauricio Delgado.
Unfortunately, 0 legal laps.
Oh boy. Gerardo Del Val trying to go around the outside of Richard DeRoche and John Barker. He has gotten semi-past DeRoche, and James Butler is now in this fight. It's a four-way fight. We can see a four wide here very easily.
I'm into it.
Barker retains the position. Del Val does get 8th away from DeRoche, and Butler gets 9th away from DeRoche. So Butler came out, or DeRoche came off the week there. Looks like he is going to get back past Butler for 9th place at least. Kaschuk has gotten past Scott Nick, as has Zach Wolf. So Scott Nick falling backwards to 13th place. And just like that, Richard DeRoche takes 8th place from Gerardo Del Val. And John Barker, got to be happy looking at this rearview mirror and seeing these three fighting real hard over that 8th place. It's allowing him to get just a little bit of breathing room, about 1.2 seconds. Delgado still getting a lot of blips around Arnaud. Very weird, because normally you'd think that the Chilean internet would be the inferior product to the American internet, but that does not appear to be the case.
He's got temporal warp internet.
It could be also somebody, inconsiderately watching Netflix or something on the same connection.
I believe they should all be killed.
My dad is really not taking the, wait for me to finish this commentary, because he has texted me 4 times.
I would recommend just turning the phone off.
I turned the ringer off. But I can see it, popping up with, you have a text message.
Time to turn the phone face down.
Gary Arnaud, Mauricio Delgado. Who you got in this fight, Byron? Who's going to take that? Who's going to take that podium? Oh, a bold call for Scott Nick to take the podium from his current 13th place.
One of these years, he's going to do it.
He's been on the podium before.
Has he?
He has. He has them. If you pull up his race app, you will see podiums.
Interesting.
Big slide in the background there from Steve Davidson, who's now under pressure from John Barker. Barker has gone from the hunted to the hunter.
Just a reminder to everybody, the next race coming up will be reverse top 75.
Reverse top 10, actually. Right now, pole would belong to Gerardo Del Val, but he's going 3 wide again with Butler and DeRoche. So, that's very up for grabs. Probably about 3 laps to go. Dennis Johnson still quite a ways ahead of Andrew D. And so this battle between Delgado and Arnaud is the highest up as we are likely to see for a little bit. Slug it out for 3rd place. It's Edmonds, Davidson, and Barker battling over 5th. Edmonds has got a little bit of a lead, actually. He'll stretch his legs a bit. And then it's DeRoche ahead of Del Val and Butler right now, but that entire 3-car grouping is covered by less than 0.3 of a second. As you can see, they are basically nose to tail. DeRoche ahead of Del Val and Butler.
Also, starting with the next race, Michael will then sing the entire discography of Sabotage.
I don't think I can do that.
You just have to sing multiple songs at once, that's all.
I don't think I know them all.
What?
I don't have all their albums.
You're supposed to have everything memorized by now. They've been around for a little while.
I memorize the songs that I really like.
No, memorize them all.
Such as Panzerkampf. Excellent song. The Winged Hussars has been a big one lately.
The Winged Hoosiers? Like the basketball guys?
No, the Hussars, the cavalry charge. Attack of the Dead Men. Dead Hunter Men. No Bullets Fly, which has a lovely story of the daughter of the German pilot hearing the song, actually. So it's kind of cool.
Very nice.
Her son was listening to the song and realized what the song was about, and basically phoned her up and put the phone to the speaker. And then she went and saw a Sabaton concert when they came to Canada.
Might I recommend that Sabaton covers Chariots of Fire?
Gerardo Del Val getting that a little bit wrong, and that lets Butler through.
Or not Chariots of Fire, St. Elmo's Fire. That's what I'm thinking about. Goddamn.
I mean, I'm good with Sabaton covering just about anything.
I want Sabaton to cover the entire discography of John Tesh.
I mean, they would make it epic. There was a live concert. Another song did a cover of 82nd All the Way by Sabaton, and yes. they got on stage with Sabaton and they were rocking out and doing the whole thing. And one of the Sabaton members had to pull one of them away from where the fireworks were coming out. wasn't briefed on some of the pyro positions apparently.
You don't want to go up like Michael Jackson or James Hetfield. Or
no, not really. This is a lot of people. It's a longer list than we probably can think.
There's at least 5 people that just got nuked by their own goddamn shit.
There's Joachim, the lead singer of Sabaton, was just kind of rocking out behind them, and he's like, "Oh!" Grabbed him by the shirt and pulled him back. There's fireworks there, bud. Steve Davidson still looking for a way through. My personal favorite Sabaton cover, just because Joachim is actually in it, is the Van Canto a cappella cover of Primo Victoria. Because for the last verse of the song, you start hearing a new voice, and you're like, wait, is that Joachim? And then you watch the music video, and indeed, he comes out of the whole video, he's dancing in the background on a screen. And then he comes out of the screen for the last verse to sing it.
That's pretty tight. I had a similar reaction to The Fire's Alight by Killswitch Engage. Because they had both singers on the same song. Mm-hmm. At some point, a hand reaches down and grabs the microphone. You're like, I know that arm. No fucking way.
Zachary Wolf bringing up 12th place here as the checkered flag has fallen on this race. Dennis Johnson taking his, I want to say, 4th victory of the series in just 7 races. Andrew D. 2nd, Mauricio Delgado getting on the podium, Kerry Arnaud, Martin Edmonds, Steve Davidson, John Barker, Richard Roche, James Butler, Gerardo Daval, Magic Cash, Chuck, Wolf, Nick, and this man, Will Yarrington, bringing up the rear. But hey, a finish is a finish. And he will score some points for that. I will tell you exactly how many points he scores for that.
A finish is a finish, unless it's Swedish.
True. That is 26 points for Will Yarrington, just staying out there and bringing it home. So that's good work. Ariel Zatoni, sadly out of the race. Don't blame him on that one. We saw him spinning like a top after headbutting a very solid barrier. I imagine the car was pretty much coast at that point. And we got 3 minutes here for warm-up. I'm going to check what my dad wants. Please, Byron, fill the time.
I refuse. We're just going to sit here looking at these majestic, tiny cars with their bumpers. Each one of those front bumpers is 10 times thicker than the entire bodywork of any F1 or racing car known to mankind today.
Not any car, but definitely F1 cars, yes.
32 times thicker per fender than the entire bodywork of any Lamborghini in production.
So my dad's text messages are, call me, please call me soon.
I'll take that under advisement.
I don't think he understands that he can communicate ideas via text message. I've tried to train him, it just doesn't work. I got 2 minutes left here for race number 2. And I forgot who starts on pole. Was it Butler or Daval who will lead us away? Let me look. It will be Daval. So We'll see if Gerardo can kind of come through, because Gerardo's had a rocky time in this series. Best result of 5th at the first Gellerson race. I mean, he's been top 10 every race he's finished, but you kind of expect a little bit more from him. He's one of the all-time ESR standard bearers at the front of the grid, and the fact that he's only got 1 top 5 so far is a little bit disappointing. So we'll see what he can do from pole position alongside James Butler. And starting 3rd will be Richard DeRoche, who really needs a good result here because he is fighting for a championship with Andrew D. and Dennis Johnson. And it's not going to do him any good to finish 8th place while those two finish 1st and 2nd. Magic Cash Chuck back out there trying out some things. Here's a hit tip, Magic. Don't flip the car on its roof and you'll probably get a better result.
Strange magic. Whoa.
Martin Edmonds heading out on track as well, possibly to practice some starts.
Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart?
Not really.
What about Dragic?
I believe in using a young girl's heart for magic.
Neat.
Usually you gotta have that kind of sacrifice in there. Because let's face it,
Top 15 tips to spruce up your altar.
I'm into the dark magic aspects, obviously. Also, YouTube is recommending all of the extinct houses in Game of Thrones to me. So yeah, morbidity and darkness all the way. YouTube knows what I'm after. All right, grid forming up here. Let's see if Del Val and Butler can do the deed here. It does look like there's a pretty tightly grouped pace gap here. So might be a chance for some of the guys up at the front of the grid to establish a bit of a decent result here. Pick up a podium, pick up a win maybe even. See what happens here is the camera is just rolling into the infield. Like with no regard for where it's headed.
It's generally how my life goes.
We have our lovely stick figure people out in the crowd.
I want them to sway majestically in the breeze.
That's some serious eating disorders going on here at the Watkins Glen. Alrighty. Let's get ready to roll here for race number 2. My God, why is the camera doing it again? We're going to be looking at a wall when the race starts. Yep. And we're off. I'd like to tell you what's happening, but I can't. Really?
We're being barricaded.
Alrighty. So it is Del Val leading the way from DeRoche and Butler. Those three were close together all race 1, and I'm anxious to see some more. John Barker in the mix as well. Martin Edmonds is up into 5th position. And he is followed by Kerry Arnaud. Steve Davidson, a bit of a bad start, down to 7th place, ahead of Dennis Johnson, Andrew D, and Magic Cash. Chuck Delgado also off to a rough start, down to 11th. Start of the race, though, Ariel Zatoni from 15th up to 12th.
Until he headbutts something else.
Hopefully not. Hopefully for his sake. Maybe he's still in Wreckfest mode. I don't know. Richard DeRoche looking for the race lead, but he may end up in 3rd because James Butler... Oh boy, gentlemen! If you're going to rub that hard, you need to go down to the war room. You need to go to the war room if you're going to get that kind of action. So Del Val remains ahead. The loser in that one was DeRoche, who's lost out to both, looks like to both Butler and Barker. Oh boy! Richard nailing it a little bit sideways. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Lap 1 has already caused me to, lose some, getting some serious carb burn due to the fact that my heart rate is up in the high zones.
Yeah, it was fine.
Barker getting into 2nd place there. DeRoche also overtaking Butler as well. So Butler's now going backwards to 4th place. meantime, Gerardo still leading. John Barker going for it. ESR OGs. John Barker and Gerardo Del Valle and Richard DeRoche and James Butler for that matter. And Martin Edmonds. It's an OG top 5.
Indeed.
Barker moving to the front. And then Kerry Arnaud, who I think is our newest driver in the field, is up in 6th place. Butler trying to get a little physical with Richard DeRoche. We've seen DeRoche get a little physical already. Dennis Johnson coming through the field, displacing Steve Davidson from 7th. Moving forward. Andrew D coming with. Everyone's still pretty tight. No one's really falling off the back of this. That's good to see. So we got some good parity going on here. Johnson trying to go around the outside of Kerry Arnaud. Gets the job done. That's P6 for the Race 1 leader and championship leader. Barker still leads from Del Valle, DeRoche, Butler, Edmonds, Johnson, Arnaud, Davidson, Kazchuk, and D, your top 10. Andrew D has not made a lot of progress. Started the race in 9th and has actually gone backwards to 10th place, having been overtaken by both Dennis Johnson and Magic Kazchuk, while overtaking Mauricio Delgado.
And also juggling oranges.
I hope not. That would be counterproductive.
While playing the kazoo.
That you could probably do while racing.
And actually refueling the car on the fly.
That might require some kind of refueling plane or truck.
No. You just produce it out of thin air.
Gerardo Del Valle off the track a little bit there, but Richard DeRoche unable to capitalize. Butler and Johnson in the mix as well as Edmonds there. So top 6 are covered by less than 6 seconds. Actually, the entire top 10 is covered by less than 10 seconds. This is pretty amazing.
It's because the race has only been going for 10 seconds.
About 5 minutes.
Oh, Jesus, what happened? What kind
James
of
Butler going up. James Butler going up the inside and can't get the job done, at least at the moment, on Gerardo. Trying again. Just relax and let Dr. Nick do his thing.
No.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We got 5 guys going for one piece of tarmac. Richard DeRoche comes out ahead. Del Valle in 3rd still. Wait, where'd the leader go? John Barker's down to 9th place. What the fuck happened?
He's dead, I keep telling you.
John Barker is tumbling down the order. Made a mistake while up in front. That is heartbreaking. So that has allowed DeRoche to the front. Del Valle in 2nd, Edmonds 3rd, Johnson 4th, Butler, Arnaud, Davidson, and Kazchuk all getting through. Lordy. So tight. So very tight. So Tony's falling a little bit off the back end along with Yarrington, but everyone else is keeping up remarkably. Gerardo Del Valle. Looking for the victory. Looking for his 1st place. Richard DeRoche looking to strike back after a pretty weak race number 1 as far as like a championship contender is concerned. To make the best of this inside row 2 start. Unfortunately, Dennis Johnson in 4th place is not losing much right now, even though DeRoche does have the lead. And DeRoche's off. Gerardo Del Valle back into the lead. Edmonds and Johnson through. DeRoche tumbling down the order, rejoining in 9th place behind Kazchuk. So basically the same spot that Barker rejoined in. The symmetry is perplexing.
I am regular plexed.
But are you Victor? And are you getting the dog food tonight?
I may or may not be stuffed full of eagle. Also, homeboy in the orange car is getting kind of a little spicy and getting pushed around.
That is John Barker.
Recently dead John Barker.
Having a little rough time as Martin Edmonds, Dennis Johnson fighting over second place. Johnson goes through. And James Butler would like to say hello as well.
Boudelier!
Boudelier! I am really hungry right now, and about the only thing that's going to be open is McDonald's.
Might I recommend McDonald's?
Yeah, that's probably where I'm going after this.
I had McDonald's for breakfast. Because we stop by the Walmart and pick up random things to shoot at. And they have a McDonald's right there in the Walmart. They got me a sausage McMuffin with
in the background, Magic Kazchuk trying to make a play in the background. Looks like it failed out for him as he's dropped down to 10th place, actually. Steve Davidson is having a rough race, too. He's down in 11th place. Come on, Steve, get on your horse.
Jeez, Dave.
Steve. So it's Delval, Johnson, Edmonds. Well, I was going to say it was Edmonds. He's probably going to get overtaken here. Butler and Kerry Arnault looking. She does rejoin ahead of them in 3rd place. DeRoche is battled back into 6th. Barker 7th, so the 2 former leaders are coming back towards the front. Andrew D., Mauricio Delgado, Magic Kazchuk, Steve Davidson in this horde as well. And then it falls back to Scott Nick, Zach Wolf, Ariel Zatoni, and Will Yarrington. Big mistake there by Martin Edmonds. Door is wide open. James Butler doesn't really go for it, though. Worried about defending against Kerry Arnault. Kerry Arnault may have just saved Martin Edmonds by being in James Butler's head.
Well, sometimes it's the Kerry Arnault.
Yes. John Barker's gotten past Richard DeRoche and is now looking to add Kerry Arnault to his list. And it looks like he might do it. They're banging side by side, but that's going to give the inside line to Arnault, who's going to hang on to 5th place for the time being. Andrew D. finally making some moves up into 8th place. Kind of expected him to come through the field a lot better than he has. Dennis Johnson going for the lead. And he'd like to become the first man to pull off a double in this series, winning the first race and the reverse grid affair.
And if you're Canadian, it's called a double-double.
I don't know, why not a triple-double? Get that triple cream,
Who do you
sugar.
think you are, the LeBron James?
Dennis Johnson moving to lead. Well, actually, LeBron James doesn't have that many triple doubles. Actually,
I'm not surprised. He doesn't really play like that.
Russell Westbrook and James Harden would be your triple double kings.
Yeah, I mean they're the greatest bitches in the world.
Yeah,
I need all of the ball. I'm trying to be greedier than fucking Kobe. I almost called him Kobe McBryant. I don't know why I did that. That was weird.
Kobe Bryant had a bunch of triple doubles as well.
And refused. Well, the fact that he didn't have more is because he refused to pass to anybody.
Also, he wasn't a big rebound guy. It was really, you look at Kobe's seasons, it's really just scoring.
Yep.
Underrated stealer on defense, but that's about it. John Barker and Richard DeRoche battling over 6th place still. Getting frisky with it and trying to catch up with Kerry Arnault. And Barker gone through for the moment. But Arnaud's going to have the inside line at the next corner. Edmonds is battling for third place with Butler again. It looks like Edmonds, for now, coming up on top there. John Barker also coming out on top. Arnaud might lose the second spot here to Richard DeRoche if he is not very careful. And possibly more because they have got Mauricio Delgado and Andrew D right behind them for company. And then even Magic Kaszczuk and Steve Davidson are in this group. Meantime, Dennis Johnson in the lead has lengthened that out to about 0.4 of a second over Gerardo Delval. Gerardo's team name, Free as a Bird.
I'm as free as a bird now, and I don't remember the rest of the lyrics. Here's a guitar solo.
I mean, I hear Freebird and I just think of Mr. Necro Butcher. So.
I mean, weird, but okay.
That was his theme song in CCW.
Oh, fair enough. I didn't know that.
Every time Eddie Kingston was on commentary and it started playing, he just started saying, Freebird! Freebird! Eddie Kingston always trolling everybody at this, including himself. Eddie Kingston also with the greatest backstage rampage in pro wrestling history when he was in ROH with Chris Hero and he's just like, hey cameraman, follow me, and he just grabs Saul Renaro and starts beating his ass like around the locker room and going, where you at, Hero? Where you at?
That is good.
Like, he'd get bored of beating up Sal Renaro and be like, oh, look, there's another young boy from the ROH Academy. I'm going to beat him, too, and yell for Chris Hero. At some point, I need to do the same thing, only it's going to be yelling Jack Evans as I beat up people in the backstage area.
Jack.
Where you at, white boy?
All flips and no punches makes Jack a dull boy.
I mean, there's more to Jack Evans' wrestling than just flips, but we really come for the flips.
Yeah, stop. I have the new ultimate anti-Jack Evans faction. Are you ready?
Hit me.
It involves you.
Okay.
And the Shatter Machine Boys.
We gotta get Human Tornado in there, though, because he broke Jack Evans' face.
True, but he does do flips. That breaks up the whole no flips, just fist kind of modality.
Yeah, but he's still Human Tornado. He's still Pimp.
True. You just, like, not do flippy stuff, wait for Jack to do a flippy thing, and then, like, give him the pimp slap in midair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's perfect.
Good old Human Tornado. He's not PC.
Jack Evans just does, like, one of his show-off for the crowd deals, like, you know, flipping around, and then, like, you know, stops in front of Human Tornado only to get the bitch slap. Johnson is not getting away out front. That gap is staying pretty solid at about 0.3 of a second. Gerardo Delval Small's victory, and he would like a piece of that. John Barker, by the way, moving into 4th place, overtaking arch nemesis James Butler. Or is it John Butler and James Barker? Oh boy!
Oh boy.
Hold it. Hang on, somehow.
Hold me down, 6 feet through the wall, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I just eat my drawers.
Maybe Armco is really life-threatening. Alright, well, it's Johnson and Delval up front. Martin Edmonds hanging on to that 3rd place, but with Barker, Butler, Arnaud, Delgado, DeRoche, D, Kaszczuk, and Davidson all piled up right behind him. Whew. That is a hell of a train that is fighting for 3rd place right now. Any of those guys could take that bottom step of the podium at this point, and it wouldn't even be surprising. Just wish Ariel Zatoni could be in this fight as well. Then it becomes a 10-way. But right now it's a 9-way fight for 3rd place. It's fantastic. Arnaud shutting the door on Delgado there. Big slide.
Arnaud into an R maybe.
Big slide from Gerardo Del Val. Gives a little bit of breathing room to Dennis Johnson now, but only about 0.4 of a second. Whoa, James Butler. Going for a real tight. Oh, no. No, James. No. Let's see if anyone. I'm looking for somebody to come up on him. He's hitting the wall like that. Well, he's kind of lucky that Richard DeRoche had launched an attack on Kerry Arnaud that didn't really work out. But he is dropping. Arnaud through, DeRoche through, Delgado through, Andrew D trying to get through there as well. Kaschuk's had a bit of a moment, it looks like. He's dropped back to 11th place. There's D looking for a move on Butler. Nothing coming. Oh boy! Hits Mauricio Delgado quite hard and spins him out. Somebody else is off the track as well. It's a lighter colored car. I didn't catch who it was. Andrew D going side by side with Butler. There's Magic Kaschuk. There's our answer.
He's a magic man.
Kaschuk. So D was held off by Butler. Butler spun Delgado. Didn't quite see what happened there. He may be completely not at fault, but didn't look great. Put it that way. Johnson still being held within eyesight of Gerardo Del Val. And then it's Edmonds, Barker, Arnaud, DeRoche, Butler, D. This group's kind of gotten a little bit more spread out now. Andrew D going for the deep bomb on Butler there, and it looks like he got it for 7th place. So instead of having that big train for 3rd place, Edmonds kind of okay right now, a little over a second up ahead. And then you got the battle between Arnaud and DeRoche. Then you got the battle between Butler and D. And then you had David and Davidson in that mix as well. And then it drops back to Scott Nick and Delgado fighting, and then Wolf and Zatoni, Kaschuk, and Yarrington kind of on their own. And it's a 3-way fight still for 4th place going on here between Barker, Arnaud, and DeRoche. Arnaud looking around the outside. It doesn't work out. See what we can do after the straightaway here towards the end of the lap. Getting attacked by Richard DeRoche, who's trying to get around the outside. I don't know if that's going to work, Richard. And for now, I think Arnaud is going to hang on to 5th place. Maybe not. They cut down the inside into the last turn. DeRoche got it. That's 5th place for Richard. Really hoping that Gerardo Del Val can crack the egg that is Dennis Johnson, because Johnson, as it stands, is going to be quite a ways ahead in the championship. And D and DeRoche were very much in it coming into today. D had a solid first race, finishing 2nd. Not a great race here. DeRoche's had a little bit of a better race.
There is a solution to the Andrew deltoid problem.
Okay.
Put him in the wall.
You're not wrong.
I'm sorry, I had too much understeer and it oversteered his car mysteriously. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened. He was just on his roof. He's just yelling at me.
Pay attention to the pancake flipper hanging out front of the car.
He was just yelling at me about coffee-flavored coffee, and then he had a heart attack.
He was an asshole. I'm glad he's dead.
Call me a haiku writing motherfucker. I believe I've now seen it all, as I've heard Glenn Danzig come out against cancel culture as a punk musician who was all about being cancel culture before it was a thing. That's interesting. It's
Old man shakes fist at cloud.jpg.
Oh, I mean, but like this is like old punk shakes his fist at Cloud about punk not being punk anymore. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I heard about that. He said there's no way you could have punk rock these days. Like, there's no way you could get more of it.
It's like,
He's like, no, today's the day. Today, right now, where everybody's
right now. Yeah, right now is the easiest time to be punk.
You could literally do anything, get some offense, do 2 more things. You've offended literally 3/4 of the world. You are now the new punk rock god.
Mm-hmm. You're the new, the new Danzig, basically.
Pretty much. And I took that personally. Mike, let's go start a punk band.
We can do that.
We literally know. I own a bass guitar and an amp.
I own a guitar as well. And,
there you go. We're done. We're punk as fuck right now. We don't even need a drummer. We can just stomp really hard on the stage.
The roommate's got a keyboard, so you know.
Ooh, new wave punk.
Yeah, new wave punk. Get some progressive punk in here.
He'd just like stand on. He'd put like a generic beat, one of the automatic pre-programmed beats on.
Oh no, he's not even there. I'm not even suggesting that he's in the band. I'm just saying his keyboard is in the band.
Well, no, because he stands there. He just puts on like beat number 17 or whatever, and stands there with a big hat on and sunglasses, and then we just do whatever. It'll be a whole motif.
Indeed, I'm down with that. My voice fits the completely annoying punk genre.
Oh yeah, you're definitely the singer. I mean, once I start doing singing, then we'll be like progressive. We'll be on so off time musically that your voice might actually fit.
I mean, my voice will finally fit somewhere.
What's up, Philadelphia? Sir, we're in Sheboygan. Shut the fuck up.
What's up, St. Louis? You're in Springfield, sir. Oh no, carry on, no, sliding wide.
Good day, Springton.
Scott Nick battling with Mauricio Delgado for 10th place, although Delgado recently got past him, so I'm not sure if this is a battle that has legs. We'll see if Scott Nick can do something here with less than a minute to go. This lap and probably the next one. Still on the cards. Behind them, that is Ariel Zatoni getting a little bit out of shape. James Butler on the tail of Steve Davidson for 8th place. Butler had a shot at a podium. I mean, to be honest, most of this field had a shot at a podium, if we're being completely honest. But that has kind of come for naught as he is looking at an 8th place, probably best case scenario right now. Dennis Johnson on his way to that double win. Just has to hang on to the finish line against Gerardo Del Val. Edmonds rounding off the podium still. Barker, DeRoche, Arno, D, Davidson, Butler, Delgado, top 10. One last time through the what do they call that again? I don't remember what they call that off the top of my head.
Chicane.
They have a different name for it here, but it is a chicane. Yes. I think they just call it the inner loop. I do believe.
The chicane.
And that is the final turn there, or the second to final turn, pardon me. We'll see if Johnson can hang on. It looks like he probably will. James Butler trying to attack Steve Davidson, who's had a really interesting day. A day that, honestly, at the end of it, he's probably fairly happy to take home an 8th place. We'll see if he can do that as they come to the line. Can Butler snatch it? Don't think he did. Davidson hangs on. Ariel Zatoni bringing up 12th place behind Mauricio or Scott Nick. Man of the day, honestly. Well, probably not driver of the day, but Zach Wolf, a huge thank you, a huge improvement for you, sir. Will Yarrington's car, not very well balanced at the moment. Bringing up him.
Put more bricks in the back seat.
15th place there. A little bit, yeah. That front end is down a long ways. But you finish the race, you get some points. Wow, his wheels are actually literally lifting off the Reddit points. Frederico Zvonger would be proud, sir. Dennis Johnson, your winner from Gerardo Del Val, Martin Edmonds, John Barker, Richard Roche, Kerry Arnault, Andrew D, Steve Davidson, James Butler, Mauricio Delgado, Scott Nick, Ariel Zatoni, Zach Wolf, Magic Kaschuk, Will Yarrington. All right, let's get the championship rundown, and then Byron's final words. Final thoughts. Words and thoughts. There you go.
Hear my thoughts.
So after Watkins Glen, with the current scratch results taken into account, we still have Sonoma, Falkenberg, and Norris Ring to go. Dennis Johnson leads the way by 51 points over Andrew D, 405 to 345 to 354. Richard Roche is third, followed by John Barker, Kerry Arnault, Magic Kaschuk, Gerardo Daval, James Butler, Scott Nick, and Martin Edmonds. First podiums of the season for both Edmonds and Delgado, as well as Gerardo Daval. So congratulations, gentlemen, on getting a little bit of the bubbly. And now I turn it over to my broadcast partner, Byron Dirksen, for his final thoughts.
Y'all remember when they had that whole Japanese murder hornet outbreak in like Seattle or Oregon or wherever the fuck? Whatever happened to those things?
I mean, they probably died.